Hello there and welcome back to another OET listening lesson, and this time we're focusing on exam stamina. This is actually a great question that came from one of you guys, Feruza, who asked me, could you please tell me how I can improve my listening stamina for the exam? And that's a really good question, because for those of you who've been practicing for your OET, you know that it works up from part A, which are short little extracts with a patient and a healthcare professional, to shorter extracts, kind of workplace based listenings, to an extended listening in part C. And this is an interview or a presentation, and these last around 5.5 minutes to 7 minutes. So they are quite long, and you're going to get two of them. So in order to get to this and to listen to that interview and to keep that focus, or to listen to that presentation without any kind of visual slides or anything else to help you apart from the notes in front of you, you need to build up your exam strength. And in this video, we're going to look at what you can do to build your exam stamina, and we're also going to look at some useful websites and tools, which are all free, that you can use to help you, and also some quick tips as well, just to cover listening part C. My name's Sona, I'm your online OET tutor with Bose Learning, and I'm a premium preparation provider of the OET. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Feruza, for asking the question, and if any of you guys have questions as well, just let me know. So what can you do then to build up your exam strength, your exam stamina? Well, my first tip really is, please don't just keep doing practice papers. And the reason I say that is that all this does is test your knowledge. And if you haven't built up your strength, your skill yet, it's not going to help you improve. And that's what you want to focus on. You want to improve your listening ability. You want to build your skills. And basically, you need to invest that time in improving your overall English ability. So think about it as an investment. Yes, it's not exactly OET material that you'll be listening to, but you are still spending that time wisely, and you will feel great after doing this because you have really invested in your own English ability, and that's such a powerful thing to do. So, my tip is to listen to as much medical and healthcare related English as you can. And these can be podcasts, YouTube videos, or presentations. And you might say, well, Sona, that's all very well, but what should I listen to? I've got no idea. There's so much information. I'm sure if you just, click on type in YouTube and you search for OET, you get lots of things. How do you know if they're any good? The first way to know if they're any good is if they are from a premium preparation provider like myself, or from the OET themselves. And the other way you can know if they're good is if they are directed at healthcare professionals. So they are made especially for healthcare professionals rather than just by anyone else or for anyone else. So just as you would if you were going to run the marathon, you have to train yourself. You have to train your ear. And you start off in small increments, like you would if you were running the marathon. You wouldn't run that full 26.25 miles or 46 kilometers in one go. You would build up to that. And you should do the same in your listening. So start off by listening to smaller things and then increase the length of time that you listen. And I'm going to give you some really useful websites to show you how you can do this. So let's take a look at the first one. Okay, so the first one I'd like to tell you about is TED.com, TED Talks. And this is great because it has lots of presentations about all kinds of things, including healthcare. And I can see here there's actually something about anesthesia right here on the home page. And as you can see, it's just over 5 minutes long, which is quite nice. So as I say, to build up your stamina, try and start with something smaller. So start with something that's just, 0 to 6 minutes, in English, of course, and it's something about healthcare. So we can just type in healthcare here and search, and you can find so much about healthcare. You can find really new ones, some slightly older ones as well, and start with something that's 3 minutes long and work your way up from there to something a bit longer and longer. Now, the good thing about TED is that there's also a transcript, so you can read along as you listen. So that will help your brain connect sounds to words. And the other good thing about TED is that it has a whole variety of accents because the speakers come from all across the world. So a really nice way to filter things, to practice, and to build up your strength, your exam strength, because you can just listen to something longer and longer each time. Now, something else I would suggest when building exam stamina is get used to writing notes as you're listening. So you're connecting your brain with your pen or your keyboard and you're taking notes to what you listen to. It's a bit debatable in Part C whether you should take notes or just listen. It's a little bit a case of personal preference, but you can, again, just to build up that strength, to practice taking notes. And a really nice website to help you do that is Cochrane. And a colleague of mine, Kevin, actually told me about this, and it's a really good website. Because it's all evidence-based research. And what you can do is have a look on here. There's such a big library. Again, they're about 5 minutes long. For example, interventions to slow the progression of short-sightedness in children. Now, what I really like about this is that there is a summary. So listen, take notes, and write your own summary. So that's one thing you can do. Then go to the summary and check. Is your understanding the same as the summary there presented? If you don't want to do that, they have some lovely questions that they have summarised. What is short-sightedness? How is it treated? What did we want to find out? Don't look at the answers, listen instead and test yourself. Can you actually understand? Can you summarize in a similar way? And of course, there's some great language in here as well and conclusions. So this is a lovely website that you can have a look at. And as I say, there's so much on here for you to take a look at. It's not loading for me right now. But yes, you can actually go on to reading things that are interesting as well. And if you do start reading these things, then of course you're boosting your knowledge for your own benefit and also to help you in reading Part C. Okay, so that's a couple of kind of presentation websites and podcasts you can listen to. The BBC also has great websites, great podcasts that you can listen to. Inside Health, these get slightly longer now, can you see, 10 minutes, etc. So have a look, muscle strengthening exercises like we're doing for your brain here. So listen through that, listen to all the episodes that they've got. Parkinson's and ballet, that's going to be so interesting. So why not put this on while you're cooking maybe, or while you're driving to and from work? So you're just kind of listening in a kind of passive way, but also you're getting your brain used to listening to English and healthcare topics. So you're surrounding your brain with English, and the more you hear it, the less tired you will be. Because we all know listening to a language, listening intensively is really tiring. So build up your strength. Just keep it on in the background. Here's another nice podcast for you. Dr. Michael Mosley, Just One Thing. These are around 15 minutes and they centre around one topic, like turmeric or nuts. Podcast to see whether actually these things work or not. And again, really nice, simple things to listen to connected to healthcare. And here, quite often, there is a presentation or there is an interview. So again, you're practicing both parts of your OET listening Part C. finally, I would recommend Team GP Perspectives, which is on here. And again, really nice topical interview style podcasts on healthcare. All kinds of different topics from LGBT, so kind of wider range topics, to well-being, etc. Okay, so that's the first part. Increase your stamina by listening. Hopefully you can go away and find these yourself and start doing that. And as I said, it's quite a good idea to make notes as you're listening. When you're making notes, you don't need to write the full word. You can just write surprising number, NO for number. More common, maybe you don't quite hear a word, so write question mark down and come back to that later. It's a bit debatable whether you want to make notes in your OET listening part C or not. You can do, and if you do make notes, just make 1 or 2 words as you listen. And again, just write briefly, don't write long things out. But it's a really good skill anyway to make notes, as I said. So let's take a look at some top tips then, just generally in terms of improving your OET listening part C. My first top tip is to use your knowledge, so use your top-down skills. And I've gone into this in much more detail in my other videos, so do take a look. I'll put a link up for you. But use your own knowledge. So let's imagine the scenario is that you hear an interview with a cardiologist called Dr. Jerome Williams, who's an expert on stents. So use your knowledge of stents, use your knowledge of cardiology that you already have to think about why, who, and when. So why might a cardiologist be talking about this? Who to and when? What's the situation? So maybe they are talking about an innovation or an increase in the number of stents being fitted. So think about that. Start thinking before you even listen. Use your own knowledge to anticipate the topic and to warm up. My second top tip is to use the interview questions as a guide. So if they ask you, according to new research presented at the British Cardiovascular Society conference, drinking beetroot juice every day for 6 months after having a stent fitted reduced the chance of angina patients having a heart attack or needing a repeat procedure. So that can be the topic. Can this be true? So, listen out for something like British Cardiovascular Society. This is quite long, actually. You won't get anything so long in the OET. I'm just using it as an example from something I found recently about drinking beetroot juice. Go look it up. It's quite interesting as well. So think about, what did the new research about beetroot juice show? Can this be true? So start thinking about things like that when you're anticipating. Use the questions as a guide. And thirdly, listen out for any signposting language. So the speaker's going to say things like firstly, however, and they might change their mind. They might say something like, I had initially thought da 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 da, but then something changed my mind, something happened to make me change my opinion. So listen out for any changes in direction as well. And again, I've gone into this in much more detail in my other videos, so do check those out as well. So basically, keep listening to as much as you can. Keep it focused on healthcare. Yes, it's lovely to listen to songs in English and watch English TV and movies and box sets, but try and keep that focus on healthcare. And as I say, look out for things like the videos and websites I've shown you today. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. If you've got questions, as I say, like Feruza, then do drop me a line and I will try and create a video or a blog post to help you, because as your online OET tutor, I'm all for trying to help you as much as I can and provide you with as many free resources as I can as well. I have got some on-demand video courses, which I've tried to keep as affordable as I can for you, and these are all pre-recorded and you can study them in your own time. I've even put in some discount codes in the box below, so please feel free to check that out. And if you like this, I'd be so happy if you could help me grow my channel by sharing this, liking it, or dropping me a little comment would be lovely too. Finally, if you want to join my Telegram group or my newsletter, again, take a look at the links below and you can sign up for that. Well, thank you again for watching. Thank you, Feruza, for your question. And I look forward to hearing from all of you guys and to hearing your questions as well. Take care then. Bye bye.